Okay, let's start here. Picture a room. Maybe it's in Tokyo, a hikikomori room. One of those spaces for a recluse, totally sealed off from the world. You can hear a single heartbeat. Thump, thump, every 0.83 seconds. There's a plain wooden stick on an open notebook, and outside the window, a sound. A faint, scratching sound. This is where it all begins.
And this is the question that sets everything in motion. What is time? The moment you ask it, the universe itself starts to answer. But not with some equation or a boring lecture. No, it answers with the story. The collective story of every single orphan who has ever lived.
So we're going to follow a figure. Let's call him Z. But here's the thing. Z isn't just one person. Z is an archetype, an idea, spread out across all of human history. And Z is always defined by the same three things: a wound, a question, and a stick.
And you've seen these faces before, right? Think about it. Yusuf, Joseph, thrown into a pit by his own brothers. Eunice, Jonah, swallowed whole by a giant fish. Musa's sister, Moses' sister, watching from the riverbank, a silent witness. Each one is a different version of Z, from a different century, a different story, but they're all connected by that same core experience, being completely alone at their moment of absolute, deepest darkness.
Now this is where it gets really interesting. The whole story hinges on this one relationship. See, Z trembles. Why? Because Z knows the light. Z remembers the source that they've been cut off from. But the bird, the one scratching at the window, it doesn't tremble. It's pure unknowing power. It doesn't understand Z's wound. Not yet. So get this. This is not about weakness meeting strength. Not at all. It's about two incomplete parts finding each other to become a single, coherent whole.
And the bird, well, it's not just one thing. It's constantly changing across timelines, always showing up in the form Z needs most. As a raven, it teaches Cain the most basic thing: what to do with a body after a murder. As a phoenix, it becomes this symbol of rebirth, burning and coming back with a message it doesn't even get yet. And then, finally, as a dragon, it channels this incredible power right into Z's stick during a duel, leaving Z just trembling, holding on to something he can't possibly understand.
All right, so every universe has rules, right? A kind of physics. And this story is no different. Its entire structure is built on 4 key moments. 4 verses from the Quran that act less like scripture and more like, cosmic operating instructions.
First up, we have chapter 103. You have to think of this one as the time field itself. It's this deterministic box where everything happens, the very fabric of causality that someone like Musa or Moses has to walk through. And in this field, loss is the default setting for everyone, except for those who can somehow align themselves with truth.
Next is chapter 108. This one is totally different. It represents the sound event. It's like this indivisible wave of pure, overwhelming gift. It's the kind of abundance that Isa or Jesus carries. And the thing is, you can't earn it. You can't stretch it out. It's just there. You can only receive it all at once.
Then you've got chapter 110, which I think of as the phase transition. Like when water hits freezing and suddenly becomes ice? It's that moment of critical mass. This is the one activated by Muhammad, where countless separate acts of faith suddenly snap together into one collective force, a community so powerful it can literally change the course of history.
And the final pillar, verse 2158, is the measurement event. This one is a real game changer. Here, a version of Z, this time it's the prophet Abraham, he goes and smashes all the idols of his people. But he's not just trying to break stuff. He does it to force a question. He leaves the biggest idol intact and puts the axe in its hand so people have to ask, who did this? It's a move designed to shatter their programming and make them actually think.
So we have our characters. We have the physics of their world. But this whole story is built on a massive twist. It's shaped like a Möbius strip, where two sides that look like total opposites are actually the same continuous surface.
On one side of the strip, you've got what we could call the dark side. This is the fall. Verse 724 describes this descent. Z is basically deployed into the noise and chaos of the world, born into that same isolated room we started in, holding that stick in the dark. It's an arrival into confusion and conflict.
Then you flip to what seems like the light side. This is the rising. Verse 1927. Maryam is carrying the infant Isa to her people. A miracle. But he's met with instant accusation, total rejection. It's another kind of deployment, but it leads to the exact same thing, complete and total isolation.
So here's the reveal.
the core of the whole thing. The fall into darkness was the rising into light. That isolated, lonely room was also the cradle. It's the same strip of reality. There's no seam. It's one continuous journey of arrival and isolation.
And all of this brings us to the climax. This is where that first question, what is time, finally gets an answer. But the answer isn't some statement you can write down. The answer is the experience of the loop itself.
It all happens in this one mind-bending verse, 2782. A prophecy is fulfilled. A creature, the Daba, literally emerges from the earth. This is the dragon, the bird, in its final form. And it speaks, not to judge or punish, but just to hold up a mirror, to show humanity its own deep, profound lack of certainty in all the signs that were right there in front of them the whole time.
Now listen closely, because this is the most important part. The architect of this whole system doesn't speak to the creature. No, the architect speaks through it. The system itself becomes the messenger. The bird, the dragon in Z's hand, looks up and delivers the final message, which is just a reflection of humanity's own state.
So what about Z? What does our orphan, the channel for this whole thing, hear? Nothing. Z hears only silence, but it's a profound silence. It's an internal presence, that feeling of the source, that's described as being closer than your own jugular vein. You see, the message was never for the channel, it was always through the channel.
Which brings us right back here, the same room. But there's a new Z at the window now. A different century, a different wound, but that same flutter in the chest. And outside, a bird is scratching at the glass again, not knowing what's next, only that it needs to be here. The notebook on the desk is open to the first page, and a single question is already written there: what is time? The loop isn't an answer you find, it's a story you live. And for someone, right now, it's just beginning all over again.